And we're back. Welcome back. And we got my guy with me, Steve Blackledge. Steve, how we doing today, man?
Not bad, John. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm on a winter break, so I can't be bad now, man.
Oh man, no bowling matches or bowling practice today for you?
No, we had bowling practice. We had bowling practice today. Yeah, you can't miss that. But yeah, no school.
Got to keep those kids fresh.
That's right. That's right. You you already know. Now tell me something, man. You saw a rescheduled game this week. Tell me something about the who'd you see?
Yeah, I went out Monday and saw Olentangy Orange play their first game after they won the state championship last year. I saw them play Dublin Kaufman, and Kaufman won. Kaufman won. It was a fairly decent game. Uh, Kaufman's going to be a pretty good team. I think they've got some nice players, and I think they're going to be one of the favorites in that OCC Central, which is always one of the best leagues around. And Orange, Orange has got a couple good players, but I think they're still in a state of flux a little bit. Uh, and I think they're going to be a little later in the season before they hit their peak. They're a well coached team, but they've got a lot of kids coming off of football, and those guys have to get acclimated to basketball, and they've got an incredibly hard schedule to open the season too. So I really think, they're going to be the kind of team I think maybe to contend for a district title later in the season when they're in their top form.
Absolutely. No,
But
I'm with you.
Kaufman went out and lost the next night after they beat Orange, and they looked so impressive. They lost to Harvest Prep, which is no laughing matter. I mean, Harvest Prep's a really good program. From what I
Absolutely.
understand, one of Kaufman's best players didn't play in that game. Now, I didn't hear the details, but anyhow,
Mm,
yeah, I think I really see Kaufman as being a pretty good team. They've got some length. Their long guys can shoot it too. They're not like under the
okay.
basket big guys. They have a six
Right.
eight guy who actually was guarding Orange's best player, who's 5'7", which made for an interesting matchup. As Trayton Schrader is Orange's best player,
Yeah.
he's their 3-point shooter. They put their
Absolutely.
6'8" guy out on the wing to guard him to keep him from shooting threes.
And he
He,
and he stayed in front of him.
yeah, he did. He did. Very good. Yeah, he's going to be a really good player. And yeah, it was an interesting game. Like I said, I think Orange is going to be more down the road. I think they lost the first three games actually this week, but they
Yeah,
played some
absolutely.
pretty tough teams. But yeah, I see Kaufman and maybe Hilliard Bradley as the favorites in that league, in that OCC Central, which I think is always one of the better leagues in our area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what was that? Who's that? Norris at Hilliard Bradley?
Yes, Brett Norris, excellent
Oh yeah,
coach.
great job. He always does a great job, man. They're always going to be tough defensively.
He had a ton of young players last year, and they took their lumps a little bit, but they're going to
Hmm.
be they're going to be a really good team this year, and they've started off quite well. Kipton Norris, his last son of the three who have all been outstanding players. I think he's a sophomore this year, and they claim he might be the best of all of them. So we'll see in a couple of years whether he ends up being the best. But yeah, he's a superb player. He's been one of the best players in Columbus, I guess, coming up through the age group ranks, and he started as a freshman last year, and
Right.
yeah, he's going to be a terrific player. I hear he has offers already, and he's a sophomore.
Is that right? No, when you say he's going to be the best of the bunch has been pretty good, man. That's been a
Yeah,
pretty good
absolutely,
bunch, man.
absolutely. Two of them are playing in college right now, and yeah, this is the third son, and he's the last son. So yeah, he's going to be a dandy. He'll be somebody to watch this year, I think.
Oh snap! Yeah, yeah. I would definitely keep a closer eye on them. Okay. Now that leads us straight right into give me the top teams. Give me your ranking.
All right. Well, after what I saw yesterday at the Capital Classic, which had some of the best teams, I think the first I think the first three or four teams have kind of set themselves apart from the rest. I think I'm putting Newark at the top. They're 6-0. They're playing really well. They've got some quality wins. They beat Hartley, Groveport, Pick Central, and Africentric, who are all pretty good teams around here. And they're 6-0, and I got to put them at the top right now, uh, followed by Westerville North, which is 6-1. They lost their first game yesterday to Lutheran East,
That was
which
a
is
tough one.
I hear is a really good team again.
Yeah.
They've been a perennial power. I mean, you look at North's schedule so far, and their wins. I looked up their wins. They were by 24, 39, 29, 24, 36, 36 before yesterday. So I mean, they're just blowing everybody out of the gym. So
Hey, and they lost yesterday. They led the whole game except for the last seven seconds. But it was back and forth late. But yeah, it was a great game, man, and they'll learn.
well,
Okay,
they graduated their two best players, so that really kind of shows you what kind of depth they have and what kind of kids they have coming back. That came up from the JV and the other guys on the varsity last year.
absolutely. Tresley has done a great job, man. He's really done some great things over there at Westerville North.
And I'd say the third best team, you got to say Reynoldsburg. Now they've lost; they're 5-2 now. They have played a really tough schedule to start with. They
Absolutely.
lost to Lutheran East the first game of the year, and uh, and they lost to Lakota West on Sunday, who was the team that they beat in the state
Right.
semifinal last year. It was a rematch game that they'd actually had won that game in the last second last year to get to the state final. So
Absolutely.
so they've really scheduled a pretty brutal schedule to start the year, and I think they're going to be right there at the end too. Uh, After Reynoldsburg, I'd have to say my list would be Bradley, Hilliard Bradley, 5-1.
Hmm.
Uh, Olentangy, kind of a sleeper. They weren't all that great last year, but they're 6-0 to start the season, and they've had no games closer than 12 points, so they've been doing really well. Jackson Mangum, their center, is going to be a really good ball player. He's 6'9", and I believe he's going to play college football. He was committed to college. He's a tight end, a 6'9" tight end, and he had been committed to Toledo last I heard, but I think he might have reopened his recruitment. But he's a really good ball player.
You said 6'9" tight end.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was one of the most dangerous receivers on their football team this year.
That
Yeah,
means he has good hands and good feet. That's a great combination.
absolutely. He looks a little bit like LeBron used to look on the football field. I You never got to see LeBron play football, and I did.
Right.
Yeah, he looked a little bit like LeBron looked on the football field. I
Is that
mean,
right?
he's that good. But
Okay.
after Olentangy, I would say Pick Central 5-2. They're still going to be one of the better teams around.
Hmm.
Dublin Kaufman, I got to put them there at 5-1. Then I'd say Hartley 6-1. They played some really good teams to start off, and then I'd say Big Walnut 3-0. They got a late start because of football, but they've got most of their athletes are two sport and three sport players. So I think they're going to be right there in Division Two again this year. Uh, and then I'd say number 10, Grove City. They're 5-1. I'd stick them in there, and then there's a whole bunch of honorable mentions. I think just behind them, probably
Right.
Reedy, Centennial, Afrocentric, Westland is playing really well.
That's it.
St. Charles, DeSales, Columbus Academy. Those would be the kind of the who's who with the
Right.
rest of them. But
I got you.
how do you feel about that group?
No, I really like that group. The Pick Central and Kaufman. That'll be interesting. You the Olentangy. I hadn't been paying enough attention, man. So I really have to dig into what they're doing over there.
Yeah,
And
they play in that OCC Cardinal division, which frankly is the worst division in the OCC. Now that's not any of their not any of their
right,
doing, but their competition's a little bit weaker than the Central and the Buckeye, which is really tough too, which has got Pick Central and Newark and Groveport in it. So that league is maybe the weakest ones, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what
right,
happens with that.
absolutely. And Big Walnut and Hartley play the 23rd.
I know that should be a great matchup too. I believe that's kind of maybe a district maybe a district championship type of game there. I think did they play each other last year? I think in the district final. I
Was
think
it
they
the
did.
district
Oh,
final? They did play each other last year.
yeah, that's what I thought. They played in the district final, and
Yeah,
yeah, really good ball game. I think Hartley beat them and moved on.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
that'll be good. Some good stuff there.
absolutely. The Big Walnut has a couple. They have a couple big wins, man.
They do, and they're
Hmm.
coming off a great football season where they made the Final Four and beat Massillon, and they've got some great athletes over there at Big Walnut right now.
Right, 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 right. Okay. Now, let me Yeah, I'm looking back over your list again. Yeah, it's hard to argue or put anybody in there right now. Yeah.
Walnut
So,
Ridge obviously might could go in there. I saw they beat Centennial the other day, right?
hey, that boy had 51 points.
I saw that Marquise Lucas, man. What a
Abs-
performance that was, man.
Absolutely. Hey, with two 3 pointers.
Okay. I mean, he's made all state in football and basketball. I mean, he's one of the best two sport athletes we've had around here. Probably, I'm thinking Malik Harrison would be one of them who played for
Right.
Walnut Ridge a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
I haven't heard what he's doing for college. Have you? Is he going to go football or basketball or what?
Got to be football. Got to be football. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I haven't seen anything, any commitments or signing news from him yet.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. The kid's obviously really skilled.
Absolutely. I've heard he wants to play a quarterback in college. I don't know if that's a sticking point. I don't know. I've heard it was. If he was, I don't know. But he can play whatever he wants to, man. He's a dog. He just needs to get on the field somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Give me some. I don't. However many you want to give me. Some of the top games, and just give me a little sentence or two about what made them some of the top games that you had to cover
I'll
in
do that.
your 34 years.
Thanks to Google and AI, I just was able to go through some of the old games and tried to look up some of them. And I went through the OHSAA program, tried to bring my memory back. But I mean, I've done this for a long time, so it's
Absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
isn't necessarily in order. But here I got down six games that I thought was stood above the others.
Okay.
Number one would have been Akron St. Vincent St. Mary against Roger Bacon. This was 2002, the state title game, and that was the
I was
only
there.
game LeBron lost in his whole career. And it was his senior year. They had gone 80-1 against teams in Ohio, and they got beat 71-63. And it was a sellout crowd at the shot,
I was there.
18,375.
Incredible.
I mean, Roger Bacon just played the perfect game that day. I mean, they did exactly what they had to do to get in the. I mean, I think they
Hmm.
must have shot 65% in the field, and they won the
Yeah.
rebounding. They were tougher physically, but the atmosphere that day was just intense. I mean, having LeBron for his last high school game in the shot. I mean,
Right.
that stands out in my mind as one of the most exciting games I covered.
Right. I'm with you.
You were there, right?
Absolutely. I was way in the bleachers. I was way up top.
Way up top, nosebleed section, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I remember that one very vividly, and even though it was, gosh, hard to believe it was 20 some years ago that LeBron played high school basketball, but I got to see
Hmm.
him several times in high school, and that was a real treat to
Right.
see him at the state tournament 4 years in a row. And it came to town and played Brookhaven, if I recall, a couple times down at the
Absolutely.
convent down. So over the holidays, but
Yeah. The
uh,
famous one was
what's that? I'm
I
sorry.
said the famous game was when Drew missed those free throws. I hate to bring that up, but yeah, they had
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
they had them beat.
And Drew and
Hmm.
LeBron were guarding each other a couple times, which brought everybody to their feet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
5'9"
yeah,
versus 6'9" there, whatever it was.
Hey, but Drew will hold his own against anybody.
Yeah, he could. He sure
Yeah.
could. I think I'd take LeBron in that
No,
matchup though.
absolutely.
Take him against anybody for that matter. But another game that came to mind to me was 1999 Division Four state championship game. Worthington Christian beat Fort Recovery 95-90 in three overtimes. It was one of the best state championship games I ever recall seeing. The stars for Worthington Christian that year were Sam Smith, who's now the head coach
Okay.
at Genoa Christian, and Jason Weekly, who was the younger brother of Kevin Weekly, who became a very, very successful coach in the area. They were the
Right.
star players for Worthington Christian, but uh, I went back on my article. There were 17 lead changes and 16 ties in that game, and Worthington Christian made 13 threes in the game. So it was a pretty exciting back and forth game, and it was one of many. really, really good games Worthington Christian was involved in over a 5 or 6 year stretch where they kind of revolutionized the 3 point shooting thing around here back in the early 90s and late 90s and stuff under Coach Ray Slagle for starters. He put in a 3 point shooting thing, and they had some really high scoring games, some really exciting games, and that was kind of the pinnacle when they won the state title that year.
Right. Oh man. Okay. I didn't know they were doing it like that.
Yeah, yeah, they were really
Okay.
exciting back then to play. And okay, the next one I wrote down, I know you're going to remember, and I know everybody on this podcast is going to remember. This was the 2021 regional final game at Westerville South between between Westerville Central and Gahanna.
Oh.
Tesos Cook made the half court buzzer beater, 45 to 44, and it was just an amazing game. And I was sitting right down at floor level to watch it all, and Sean Jones for Gahanna had made a pull up mid range jumper to put
Mm-hmm.
Gahanna ahead uh, with 1.9 seconds left. Worthington Christian called timeout. They inbounded the ball to Tesos. He took about 3 dribbles through the middle of the defense, pulled up
Right.
behind the half court line, and nailed it. And I could tell right when he launched the ball that it was going to have a chance
It
to
was
go
good.
in. I mean, he nailed that thing. But the emotions that day were so cool. I mean, it was just such a unbelievable, just an unbelievable finish to that game. And I think the 2 previous games they had played that year in the league were decided by 1 point, and they got the
Right.
three. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
third game decided by 1 point. And
Man. And I was just talking with Tassos's uncle about that game because he's still playing. I believe
right.
he's still playing. I forget where he said he is. But yeah, he's still playing, and man, that was unbelievable, man. They made a run. Did they win the state or
No, they ended up losing the state that year.
okay?
They lost to somebody, but it was a
Centerville.
really good game. They lost. You're right, Centerville. They lost by like
Yep,
2 points. It's a really good game. But
absolutely.
my lasting memory of that was after the game. Sean Jones was just inconsolable. I mean, he had made what he thought was the winning shot, and he was sitting on the floor. I mean, he couldn't even. This was well after the game was over. He was sitting on the floor and couldn't get up, and he was just sitting there crying. And I remember Tassos went over to him and consoled him, and he lifted him up off the floor, and they shared a hug. It was really
Hmm.
a great scene of sportsmanship, and really kind of capped what happened that day.
Right. Oh yeah, that was yeah. Okay. You got three bangers, man.
Well, I went back to 2009 when Northland won the state title against Cincinnati Princeton, 60 to 58.
Hmm.
Uh, you probably remember that one pretty well, don't you?
Absolutely.
Garrett Solinger made 2 foul shots with 2.7 seconds left to win the game. Cincinnati Princeton had just tied it, and they called timeout. I remember Worthington Christian called timeout, and I was sitting right behind the bench on the press row,
Hmm.
and Jared kind of took control of the huddle, and he basically called the play to get him the ball. And he actually shied a 3 point shot in the corner and got fouled on the 3 point shot. He drew the foul and went to the line and made the first two, and then he missed the third on purpose so that they couldn't get an inbounds and get a final shot off. So that was the first of. I mean, that was their state championship team, and if you remember, Sully was the Mr. Basketball. That was one of his 2 Mr. Basketball awards that year. J.D. Witherspoon and Trey Burke were also on that team, and Trey Burke was a
Absolutely.
sophomore.
Oh, we played them in the city championship that year.
Okay.
We took them to the wire. But JD had a great game, great state final game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
He
he
really
did.
he really played well.
But that was a really memorable game. I think Northland finished 27-1, and Princeton was 25-2, and it was really epic. And like I said, the memory of that was how Jared took control of the huddle during the
Hmm.
timeout and actually called the
Right.
play.
Right.
I'm not saying Satch froze or anything, his dad, but
Right.
Jared showed his leadership right there.
Right. 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 Eh,
I never really thought of him being a coach type, but he stepped right up and made the call
So
to get him the
he
ball.
he drew up the play to get him a three
He
pointer.
did, and he wasn't a 3 point shooter, but he got the ball on the baseline. I think he was going to head fake and drive to the basket.
Right.
But he was still behind the 3 point line. He got hacked before he made the drive, so it was a
Right.
three. And then he was smart enough to actually get the get the shot off to earn the three. So that was
Absolutely.
a yeah, that was a pretty memorable game too.
Okay.
I I got two more for you here.
Okay.
Uh, 1988 regional final at the Fairgrounds Coliseum. Lyndon McKinley beat Mansfield Senior 80-77. Here's what happened. Mansfield tied it 77 all, and Lyndon had the ball in inbounds after a timeout. Lewis Jeter, who was just a fantastic athlete at that time for Lyndon, and he was the quarterback on the football team too. He
Mm-hmm.
launched an inbounds pass all the way from the back baseline over in front of the Linden bench, and somehow Terrell Holcomb caught the ball right by the sideline, nearly went out of bounds, turned around and set and nailed it from 35 feet and won the game for Linden and sent them to the state. But it was just Lyndon was Terrell was known for that forever. I mean, we call him Big Shot Terrell all the time, and he's actually his son just finished playing at Gahanna, and he went to play
Yeah.
college football. And
Yeah.
I always, whenever I see Terrell at the games, I remind him of that shot, and it was kind of an immortal shot. But to win that game there that day. So I mean that sent them Linden to the state. They didn't win it, but it was just the actual play and the way it was executed with the inbounds pass, 65
Yeah.
feet down the floor and then catching it and squaring and making that thing 3 pointer to win the regional was unbelievable.
Man, Terrell is my guy, man. I didn't know that.
Well, you'll have to
I
remember
probably I probably heard it, but
he was just a
nobody said it.
sophomore.
Nobody set it up the way you set it up just now, man.
Well, he was a sophomore that year too. I mean, he was only like their second or third best player. Jeter was the star player, but Jeter was a tremendous athlete, and he was a quarterback on the football team, about 6'7", or he's about 6'7",
Mm-hmm.
left-hander, and he bombed that pass right down. I mean, it was just like I set it up. I mean, it was
Right.
really an epic memory that I have
Right.
from watching that game, and
Oh,
sent Linden to the
snap.
state. So
Man, I'm
so
gonna
you
get up.
call him Big Shot next time you see him, all right?
Oh, I most definitely will.
Here's the last one I dug up for you. This was in 1989. This was the following year, and this was when Toledo Maycomber with Jimmy Jackson came to the Fairgrounds Coliseum, and they played Brookhaven in the regional semifinal. And the place was absolutely packed because Jimmy Jackson was one of the top players in the country that year,
Right.
and he had committed to Ohio State, and everyone wanted to see him, and this was a big deal. I mean, the fairgrounds was sold out for like the whole week, knowing
Mm-hmm.
this game was going to be there,
Right.
and Brookhaven just played their absolute butts off, and they almost beat Maycomber. And I remember so much how it finished. Maycomber's up 65-62. Brookhaven calls timeout to play for the play for their final shot.
Mm-hmm.
They dribble the ball in, and they threw the ball inside, and Jeff Ward, the big guy, makes a layup, and the ball just lays on the line. Nobody picks it up, and it ends up 65-64. And we're all just befuddled. We're going, why didn't they shoot a 3 pointer? Why settle for the
Right.
layup when you're down three? And we went to interview the coach, who was Dick Malloy, was his name. He's no longer with us,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, I don't believe in the 3 point shot. That was his answer. The 3 point shot had only been introduced like a couple years earlier, and he never let his kids shoot 3 pointers because he didn't think it was a good strategy, and he refused to shoot it. And
So you
Jeff
lose the
Ward,
game?
they lose the game. They lost by 1 point to Maycomber, and then Maycomber went on and won the state. Uh, in fact, Maycomber closed 2 years after that. That was their big shining moment with Jimmy Jackson. But yeah, we were all just befuddled. We were all just befuddled in the post game. They had a lot of media there, and we had a post game press conference. And when the coach said this, we don't believe in the 3 point shot. I said, I don't know how they thought they were going to win, whether they thought they were going to score that 2 pointer and then foul on the inbounds. I don't know what he was thinking they were going to do, but the ball just laid on the line. Nobody inbounded, and the game was over, and
Oh
that's how it
my
ended.
goodness. Now
Jeff Ward had 34 points that game. He had just an unbelievable game. I mean, he outplayed Jimmy. Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
played well. No, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but
Right.
Jeff Ward was just fantastic, and that's the way it ended. And it was just an amazing, amazing game that
Now
it turned out that way.
now he's Nick Ward's father, isn't he?
He is,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
that's what I
Nick, well,
thought.
yeah, Nick certainly came through with his own fantastic play when he was in school. He played at
Absolutely.
Michigan State. But yeah, that was a really memorable game too. And
Okay,
so there's about a half dozen of many many ones. I'd have to go through my old articles and remember some of them. But
absolutely.
those were some of them.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Well, for everyone who watches or sees this, they will be blessed to hear some history, man. That's
Well, I'm
oh,
glad to share it. That's one advantage of being old, I guess, right? Being able to share stories like that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. You share that, yeah, man. You got a lot of. You've seen a lot of basketball, and that's what kids. Anybody watches this. Did you say any in the? It was. Oh, you just had one in 21, yeah. But the rest of them were old school.
Way
You know,
back, yeah, way back.
yeah,
But you know, I've got whole boxes full of articles. I said I'd have to go through back some of these articles. I'd remember some more of them, but it's just those came to mind. I went through the state tournament program that I had and looked at a
hmm
couple of them that just came to mind. But yeah, there've been a lot of great games through the years, and those are just a few of
we
them that came to mind.
we might have to have a. I might give you another week to come up with another six, man. That's
Yeah, that was it was pretty incredible. It was kind of fun to do a little research on that too. Kind of
yeah, yeah. I'm serious.
recollect
We
some
might
old memories.
we might have to have a part two, man.
What are your
Oh,
tell me? What are your favorite memories of the games you were either coached in or watched?
um, I'm from Dayton, so I know it was a game, uh, 87, Dunbar versus Alter. Dunbar had Kirk Taylor, who went to Michigan, and Alter had Jeff Graham, who played football at Ohio State.
Okay,
I think Jeff ended up with 35 and Kirk might end up with 31, something. I forget. It was, a long time ago, but I think Dunbar won an OT, one of the greatest games ever. Of course, Dunbar's March. For me, I would say 15, Gahanna, when we were down, but 15 in the last two and a half what was it, district finals?
right.
That might have been one of the because I watch that sometimes and I get chills watching that, man. That's
Yeah, all those Dunbar Alter games, I remember a lot of those because I started my career down in Southwest Ohio at a newspaper, and I used to go to some of those games even when I wasn't covering them. And those Dunbar Alter games were unbelievable. Yeah, those were fantastic. UD Arena was almost full those when those guys played each other.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, those were some great games, man. But yeah, now see you can't just ask me that one. I'm gonna have to go back, man, because I don't remember half the games I've coached or seen. So I got to go back and look at it. But man, I appreciate your time, man. I don't want to waste too much more of your time. But Steve, as always, man, thank you so much. And we're gonna get back at this same time next week.
All right, sounds good, partner.
All right, take care of yourself.
Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes, sir. Same to you, man. Enjoy the holidays.